Today in New York City, a surge in tornadoes just across the Hudson has emergency managers on alert. An unexplained death at a Bronx hospital sparks an NYPD investigation. Big changes on the way for street vendors, and housing court gets a fast track for tenants in dangerous buildings. I'm Dean Bark in New York City, and this is the City Report with Dean Bark. Let's kick things off with a bang. New Jersey faces an unprecedented surge in tornado activity. Here's the latest scoop. Since 1950, the Garden State has averaged about 2.5 tornadoes a year. In 2023, it logged a record 18. And this year, 2026, 4 have already been recorded. That's a major shift, and it's not a statistical blip. Meteorologists with the National Weather Service, the federal agency that issues forecasts and warnings, point to climate change as a driver that's increasing the ingredients for severe thunderstorms and, yes, tornadoes. New Jersey's Office of Emergency Management, the state's coordinating agency for disasters, has been pushing multiple watches and warnings. Quick refresher: a tornado watch means conditions are favorable. A warning means it's happening, and you need to act now. Complicating matters, there are federal funding cuts moving through forecasting programs. The exact impact is debated, but the concern is straightforward. Leaner budgets can mean fewer tools and slower upgrades when seconds matter. Opinion: ignoring climate change's role in this surge seems reckless. Let's cut to the chase. If a warning hits your phone, get to an interior room on the lowest floor or a basement. Avoid windows. And if you commute between the city and Jersey, have a plan for both work and home. Moving on. Unexplained death sparks investigation at a Bronx hospital. A 60-year-old man was brought to Montefiore Hospital in Norwood, a major medical center in the northwest Bronx. He arrived with head and body injuries on a late August afternoon and was pronounced dead shortly after. NYPD detectives, the city's primary criminal investigators, are treating the circumstances as suspicious. No arrests so far. The man's identity is being withheld until his family is notified. Officials have not disclosed the cause of those injuries, and the case has not been ruled a homicide at this time. Opinion: the lack of transparency here is alarming, but it may reflect a complex and active investigation. That's the story right there. If you live near Norwood and saw anything unusual that afternoon, keep an eye out for official requests for information. Let's transition to this. NYC street vendors are set to gain new legal ground with a permit expansion. The City Council, New York's legislative body, voted in January to vastly increase the number of food and merchandise vendor permits, overriding a veto from then-Mayor Eric Adams, who led City Hall at the time. Starting in October 2026, the city plans to issue 21,500 new permits. There are an estimated 23,000 vendors across the 5 boroughs, many of them immigrants running micro-businesses that power the sidewalks we all know, from halal carts to book tables to fruit stands. For decades, permit caps barely budged, creating a black market where renting someone else's permit could cost up to $10,000 a year. Critics raise public health and sidewalk safety concerns. Supporters say legal pathways reduce scams and let entrepreneurs operate above board. Opinion: this expansion is long overdue and crucial for supporting immigrant communities. Well, that's one way to look at it, and it happens to be the practical one. Shifting gears. NYC fast-tracks housing court for tenants in dire situations. City and court officials have launched a directive, effective July 16th, to speed cases from tenants living in the city's most hazardous buildings. We're talking heat failures, elevator outages, and other conditions that make apartments unlivable. Under the directive, landlords must respond to complaints within 5 days. The aim is to cut through backlogs and deliver repairs fast. This follows 2021 recommendations from the New York City Bar Association, an independent group of legal professionals, which urged assigning more judicial resources to repair cases and moving them sooner. Landlords counter that rent caps, the limits on regulated rent increases, strain budgets for big-ticket fixes. Meanwhile, more than 116,000 eviction cases were filed by landlords in the past year. Opinion: tenants' rights need to be prioritized, especially when safety is at stake. Let's not overcomplicate this. And now for something completely different, but connected. The City Council's permit expansion could reshape the daily street economy. Here's what that looks like on the ground. For years, many vendors faced two bad choices: operate without a license and risk fines or immigration complications, or pay eye-watering prices to rent a permit from someone else. Legal pathways shrink that underground market and reduce the fear that a routine day at the cart ends with confiscated equipment. Historically, general merchandise licenses were capped at 853 back in 1979, and food cart permits were capped around 3,000 by the early 1980s. That mismatch with today's population and demand fueled the headaches. The expansion, set to begin rolling out in October, won't fix every sidewalk conflict or health rule overnight, but it does set a clearer legal route for thousands who are already part of the city's fabric. Opinion: this policy shift could transform the landscape for NYC's street vendors. Call it like it is, a long stuck door finally opening. There you have it. Tornadoes up in Jersey, questions in the Bronx, and big policy moves on the streets and in housing court here at home. I'm Dean Bark in New York City. Tune in tomorrow for more from the City Report with Dean Bark.